Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. I think we're up and live. Good to see you, Edward.
Yes, good morning. I think we should, yeah, it is 5 a.m. for me.
Yeah. It's well, we've got folks joining from all over the globe right now, so we'll give everybody a couple minutes to jump on. I'm really excited to be with you here today to talk to this amazing community, Edward, all across the globe. People are so excited about where we've been, where we are, where we're going. I'm excited about this update today. And I know you're excited about where we're at and what we're doing because, health is a big priority for you. We talk every day, you and I do, about health all the time, nonstop.
Okay.
And it's impressive to me how much you know. It's also impressive to me how healthy you are, and I just know how excited the global community is about what we're doing with Biolimitless. So, what are your thoughts so far?
Well, anytime somebody gets sick, something, I always message you right away, or I call you. I go like, "Hey, what's this? What's that?"
Yeah,
You know, somebody gets pregnant, I go like, "Hey, what's the best vitamins?"
yeah,
Like you're my go guy for anything when it comes to the human body.
yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah,
I'm excited to be there for you and to do that. And by the way, our community is the same way. I mean, there's so many good. Our leaders are so strong. I've got so many of them that reach out to me and ask me questions about their friends and their family. And everybody's so excited about the new peptide line coming out, and those that have already started utilizing the master microbiotics and that have put into play the DNA kits are already seeing some changes in their health. And I know that the Japanese has a very strong group of leaders, Edward, that are doing the 45 easy challenge every day. I'm getting
yeah.
reports from them. I mean, hundreds of people every day. And so I'm just excited where we're at, the momentum we've got going, and to share with everyone today kind of the what's next action steps. So it's really good, man. Really is.
Yeah, we started with a challenging of shipping, right? With and I just want to address while we go into it. We started with because of blockchain and moving, and there's some, a team, but with this new formula, with the new peptides that we're launching, it's going to start shipping out right away with the new partnership we made, right?
Yeah.
So we shouldn't have any issues whatsoever, especially in Japan. In Japan, our partners, they've been working in Japan officially for forever.
Well,
So
they've done
um,
the group we're working with now, where, like you said, they've done over $2 billion in global sales. I mean, that
yeah,
they know how to do logistics and distribution. And let me say this, when we got together and had the idea of, how do we take this amazing science and health technology and breakthrough diagnostics and life-changing therapeutics, and how do we take it to the masses? I mean, what we did was we took what normally is done in high level, high end functional medicine doctors' offices like mine, which, by the way, less than 1% of practicing doctors globally do the work that we do. And how do we get it to the masses? Well, it's the first time anyone's ever done anything that big. And just like us, we went global first instead of starting even just in the US, which is the easiest market. And the concept and idea of having a blockchain and having everything decentralized makes so much sense. And it's still part of our roadmap. But
mhm.
look, the world is moving in that direction. And just like many things, we're ahead of that trend. We just have to spend a little bit more time, energy, and resources getting that technology to fruition, right? I mean, it's almost there. And the world we're moving into, blockchain and crypto, that's, I mean, look what's happening globally with that. And
Oh yeah,
the decentralization of healthcare is really moving in that way, and we're already ahead of it. But to your point, the fact that we now have access to credit card processing, access to shipping and logistics, the way that people are used to doing it, it's going to make things so simple. And we knew in August when we started our pre-launch that we had a lot of logistics and compliance things that we had to work through, again, because no one's ever done the things we've done before. And I'm excited and happy because we've overcome all those hurdles and obstacles. We now have this system and process. We're going to kind of update everybody today on some timelines for that and what we're doing. And I'll tell you what's exciting, Edward, to me is, we launched with the DNA kits. We within the pre-launch, we launched with the master microbiotics, which people love that formula. We've launched with the cell signaling. We then said, all right, we're going to come back in the actual official launch in March 2nd. We're going to have the condition specific solution driven peptides, and they're ready. And we've got that. And we've got US manufacturing and distribution for that. And the folks that were the early adopters who have already purchased and have already got involved with us, and those folks that were in Vegas are all excited about getting one of those two new peptides. And man, my phone is blowing up all the time because the more we talk about the neuro reset for the brain and the neuro reboot for the brain and the cell reset for the overall health, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, I got a lot of compliments. I did a video, Edward, when I was in Costa Rica recently.
Yeah,
I
I
was in
watched
one
it.
of the
Yeah,
blue zones, and I got a lot of compliments because my scrubs are a little big on me now. I've lost 33 pounds now.
that's
Um,
amazing.
just doing that 45-day easy with that reset. And I feel great. And I know everybody's looking forward to, you know, getting rocking and rolling with both those new formulas. So yeah, it's
That's
good.
amazing.
Yeah.
Eric, I don't know if have you heard the saying, sometimes what did not work for you, it really worked out for you?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Of course.
repeat it correctly. Sometimes what did not work out for you really worked out for you.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think we're in this situation where you, the whole community, everybody will see it a little bit later, and they're gonna think like, oh, if this did not
Yeah.
happen, this
Yeah.
would not happen. And this
Yeah.
is in my life. I know in every single person's life, this has been happening all the time, right? Even like in health, you get something, and then all of a sudden you're finding out other issues when you get starting into
Yeah.
health. But let me ask you a question. This question been a lot of people asking since we're going, like, if you would choose out of two new that gifts that we're gonna ship out, right? One brain formula and the other one is metabolic formula. Like, which one would you choose, or how would you describe it? Because maybe, I mean, I wanted also see. I mean, I can. We all wanted both, but if you would choose only one, and why?
Well, that's like asking me which of my kids is my favorite, right?
Yeah.
I love them all the same and I love them all different. So let me explain the difference in these two new formulas. And by the way, I recorded just recently some podcast and videos on the new formulas. So everybody's going to have access to those. I did one video that was about 20 minutes long for each that explains it in detail. And then I did about a 3 minute, just quick understanding of it. And so let's talk first about the neuro reboot, Edward. That's the brain formula. And I'll
Mm.
tell you what was amazing to me is when we ran that survey in the community. Which, by the way, we've always said that we together, it's all about following what we're going to do as a community. This is by the people, of the people, and for the people. So when we said, all right, what would you rather have? Would you rather have a metabolic reset and that can help you have more energy, that can help you build some muscle, that can help you lose some weight, that can help you feel younger? Or would you rather have a formula that's been clinically proven to help with cognitive function, emotional health, anxiety, depressions, all those things? And 52%, Edward, of the community said, we want the brain formula. And
Yeah.
at first, I think a lot of people were a little bit shocked by that. But when I took a moment, Edward, and said, all right, it made sense because here's why. So many of you know that I'm working with the Make America Healthy Again campaign. The Department of Health and Human Services, Bobby Kennedy Jr. is now in charge of that. And I've known him for quite some time. And we have a lot of similar thoughts about how healthcare should be delivered and received. And I was in one of the meetings where the American Medical Association, Edward, and I want everybody to understand this. That's the leading organization in the US for policy decisions for healthcare for medical doctors, said that at the beginning of 2021, the United States of America and the global population stepped into a 14-year trend where we're going to see more mental health disorders than we've ever seen in the history of humanity. more depression, more anxiety, more insomnia, more mental health challenges that's horrible on humans. And what's sad about that conversation, Edward, is the American Medical Association, their solution is we need to raise money from the government to create institutions to institutionalize individuals who have mental health, not trying to help them fix the problem, not trying to help them get to the root of it. Well, we Biolimitless have a solution for brain health, a brain health solution that's never been on the market before. So let's talk about that neuro reboot formula first. So the
Let's do.
neuro reboot formula is a tripeptide. So we took 3 peptides and we put them into one capsule. By the way, Edward, just so you know, in my practice, if I prescribe these 3 peptides individually and you have to inject them, it's about $600 a month just for those 3 peptides. Okay, that's
Yeah.
a pretty big expense.
And
We've been
injecting
able to,
is not
and
fun.
injecting, nobody wants that.
Yeah.
So we are able now to take these 3 peptides, put them in a pill, and literally for half of the expense, you get a better result, and you don't have to stick yourself with a needle. I mean, it truly is mind blowing. But let's talk about what's in it. So there's 3 peptides, and one of them is the peptide called BPC-157. It's one of my favorite peptides. It's known as the healer peptide. We also call it the Wolverine peptide because that peptide helps regenerate damaged tissues, and it helps the cells become healthier. And the quality of your health is in direct proportion to the health of your cells. So we put BPC-157 in both those formulas, but definitely in the neuro reboot. But then we put a peptide in a brain support peptide called dihexa. And dihexa is one of my favorite peptides because it repairs damaged tissues to the brain cells. It helps repair and reduce brain inflammation. Well, brain inflammation is what happens when people have PTSD, when they have insomnia, anxiety, when they have depression, when they have a brain injury, when they have mental disruption in the brain. That dihexa can help fix that. And the dihexa is, people have heard about the brain gut connection. It's a very common conversation. Yeah. Dihexa stimulates the brain component of the brain gut system, and BPC-157 stimulates the gut component of the brain connection. So we're literally stimulating that whole circuit. And then we added something called tesofensin into this formula as well. And tesofensin is a it's a metabolic modulator, but these two formulas together, Edward, do two main things. Number one, when our brain is under stress, whether we have physical damage, emotional stresses, chemical stresses, whatever that may be, the brain starts decreasing its activity. And our brain has something called synapses where the nerves wire and fire together. Well, that turns down like a dimmer switch, like a thermostat, because of those stresses. Well, this formula has been clinically proven that it increases something called synaptogenesis. Synaptogenesis is the formation of new brain synapses. You may have heard of this phrase. We use it in America quite often. They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And what that means is, as we age, our brain loses the ability to be what's called neuroplasticity, which is to retain new information. So people who forget where their glasses are and they're sitting on their face, or they forget where they parked, or their keys, or what that guy's name is, all the things that happen. By the way, those little things that happen that we joke about, those are signs and symptoms of brain degeneration. This formula has been proven to rewire the brain. And what I told you, the American Medical Association is saying that we're stepping into the highest ever level of mental illness ever on the planet. Well, part of that is because the brain's not wiring and firing like it's supposed to. This formula helps with that. The second thing that it does in the brain, when you're under stress or when you're fatigued, what do people do? They take energy drinks. They have too much caffeine. Now, caffeine in moderation is very healthy, but too much of a stimulant actually shuts down the blood supply to the brain. Well, when you don't get blood supply to the brain doesn't work like it's supposed to, and you get all kinds of symptoms. And those symptoms can lead to diseases. Well, the second thing that this neuro reboot formula does is it improves something called angiogenesis. Angiogenesis is the formation of new blood vessels to go to the brain. So the analogy that I give is think about your brain like a garden. Well, you have to water your garden and feed it with nutrients every day. Well, if the garden hose is kinked or broken, the nutrients aren't going to get there like it's supposed to, and the garden's going to die. Well, if we can improve the blood supply to the brain and the neuro reboot formula can do that, Edward, we can really get the brain working again and all things are possible. So we have a solution with living your DNA lifestyle. That's the most important thing. Using the brain reboot formula to rewire and refire the brain, and then using the master microbiotics, because the gut bacteria, which 95% of the global population has a problem with, the gut is where all the neurotransmitters to tell the brain to work, to be happy, to be healthy, to be balanced lives. So that brain reboot formula is amazing. I think everybody should use that. But then we should let me talk about the reset, the cell reset. But then my second favorite child, which is also my first favorite, is the metabolic reset. Now, I'm going to use a long name, and it may not translate very well.
I was wondering how the translators are translating all the words. I mean, how are they?
They're doing the best they can. But the cell reset really is originally called the cellular mitochondrial metabolic reset formula, because I name things for what they do. So this reset formula stimulates the cells in the body by improving what's called the mitochondria. And Edward, mitochondria inside the cell, our body's made of trillions and trillions of cells. Inside of that cell, you have DNA, and then you have this little bitty tool called the mitochondria. And the mitochondria is the engine for the cell. It's like the engine for your car. If you get in your car and you try to turn on the car and it doesn't turn over, that's like the mitochondria not working inside the human body. And listen to this. This is what I'm so excited about. The American Medical Association, the American Academy of Anti-Aging Doctors, the Council of Longevity, all of these advanced doctors organizations globally are saying the number one problem that we have as a global society is we have dysfunction of our mitochondria. So our body cannot take the food and the nutrients that we are consuming and turn it into usable energy. It's kind of like if I put gasoline in my car, but my engine doesn't turn over to use it like it's supposed to, your car's not going to go anywhere. Well, when that happens inside the human body, Edward, we get symptoms like fatigue, anxiety, chronic pain, digestive issues, blood sugar imbalances, which can lead to diabetes and metabolic syndrome. It's all because the cells aren't working. Well, the metabolic reset formula fixes that problem. It's a 3-peptide blend. All 3 of these peptides put into a capsule. Again, no injections. Okay, this would, if you took these 3 peptides again, it would be about $600 to $700 a month just to take these if you were injecting them. So the 3 peptides that we use on this, number 1, BPC 157, because again, we've got to heal the gut. Even the father of medicine, Hippocrates, said, fix the gut and all other things will fall into place. So BPC 157 is in this blend. Number 2 that's in this blend is a nutrient that I really, really love. Now, I'm taking these 3 peptides right now, Edward. And the peptide that's got me the most excited is the 5-amino-1. It's in that formula. That peptide causes your body to wake up the cells primarily of the liver and causes your liver to take stored fat and burn it. Yes, you do. We all do.
I need that.
So that formula, that's why I'm down 30 plus pounds. My energy is higher than it's been in at least the last 5 years.
Question. Sorry.
It's
For a
okay.
person like me, is that okay? Because my understanding at the beginning, it was like a weight loss product, but it's not weight loss product. I can
Weight
take
loss,
it too, right?
yeah, weight loss is an effect. Now, so what I want you to understand is it's not like semaglutide or Ozempic that is a specific weight loss drug. Let me kind of give you a
Go
comparison.
ahead. Yeah.
So everybody's familiar with Ozempic or semaglutide, which is a drug that you inject and it helps you lose weight. And how it does that is it basically slows down and stops digestion. It basically makes you feel full all the time so that you're in a constant state of fasting. The problem is really twofold, really threefold. Number one is because they mega dose that semaglutide in that drug form, it causes the body to lose muscle mass.
Hmm.
Well, muscle mass is the number one indicator in order to keep your metabolism high so that fat keeps burning forever. It's also the number one indicator for health and longevity. Something called grip strength is one of the three most important indicators of overall health. So when you take a weight loss product like Ozempic, you lose weight, but you lose muscle. So you lose years off your life.
Yeah.
Well, with our formula, the 5 amino 1 allows you to lose weight and burn fat, which is what we should be doing. It allows the body to burn, listen, to burn fat as fuel and not sugar, which is what keeps us living longer and burning fat. But we put another peptide in here called SLOOP. It's actually called SLU
That one I know. I read it.
PP332. And what does that do? It keeps muscle on the body, it improves strength. It's one of the best things that you can do to improve muscle and joint function. So we solve the problems that existed with the weight loss formula, Ozempic and semaglutide. So our formula, yeah, you can lose weight, but you're going to keep your muscle mass. You're going to keep your strength, which is the number one health indicator out there. And the other side effect that happens when you take these drug injections like Ozempic or semaglutide is you get a lot of digestive problems, nauseousness and gas and constipation, and it leads to liver and pancreas problems. Our formula doesn't do that because why? We put BPC 157 in it, which is the gut healer peptide. So we took the most common sense approach, Edward. And I'll tell you, common sense is not that common,
Mhm.
especially in medicine. And we put this beautiful formula together. And I have to tell you, I said this to my wife the other day. This is a very American term. I said, I'm back down to my high school weight again. I weigh the same that I do when I graduated high school. Now, I was also, my
More.
muscle to fat ratio was a little bit different, right? That was, 30 years ago. But,
Yeah.
um, but I'm stronger. My skin has cleared up. So this is what else is really cool. Like wrinkles that you get start to tighten up because the muscles of the face start to get better. When we get older, we get that sunken in
Yeah.
face look because the muscles of the face get weak.
Delicious.
So exactly, yeah. So natural facelift. And the sloop peptide is known as exercise in a bottle. So I can't wait for
You,
everybody to get a hold
as
of
you
this.
speak, I cannot wait to start this product. Now, question.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
the ones that we're gonna ship out right now, people. First of all, I'm sorry, everybody. It's gonna be so hard for you to choose which one you want
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
you want both of them. I just you have to have both of them. But question is, right now, the ones we're gonna ship,
Yeah.
they already each pill has three different.
Yeah.
So it's already it's not like a one peptide, like
Yeah,
a
it's
one or something, no?
no, it's all three of those are in one pill. And that's
And we're
what's beautiful.
shipping 45-day bottle, not 30-day.
Exactly,
So
exactly,
if
exactly.
30-day you buy injection once, you'll spend $600+ on injection. We send 30-day. We
Yeah,
sending 45-day.
yeah.
for free right now. It's a gift, and you know, I mean,
Yeah.
that's amazing. Hmm.
So Edward, here's what's important to me. So look, I want everybody on here to understand that because what we're doing is so outside the box, it truly never has been done before. And because we launched globally all at one time, because of this global amazing community, we had to work through logistics and compliance. Every country's been so, but we've got now a logistics and a compliance partner team with all customer service, all logistics and shipping. They've done, like I said, over $2 billion in distribution and sales. They're very familiar with global markets, especially in Japan. So all of these shipping and everything's going to be so seamless. And what I'm telling everyone is this, because within the next really 10 days. So if you remember, I came out and said, okay, I want to go January 15th. Let's get the reset formula in
Yeah.
everybody's hand. Let's do the 45-day challenge together
Mhm.
as a community. But Edward, when 52% of the community said, I'm interested in the brain reset, we listened to the leaders, and the leader said, you guys, we have to produce both of these. And so we did, and because of that, it's going to take about another 5 to 10 days to get both those products developed, and we're going to get those shipped out. So as soon as those ship out, what I'm asking, and this is so important for me, and I'm asking the global community for a favor, because I feel like you guys have been amazingly patient. I know you're excited about what we're doing, but if you'll play all in with what I'm about to ask everybody to do, it's going to help us go from here to here so fast. And that's this. Once you choose what formula you want, whether it's the cellular reset or it's the neuro reboot, as soon as everyone has it in hand, which we believe that's going to be by the end of this month to get everything in everybody's hand, we are going to start a 45-day challenge with everyone. So everyone's going to get the access to the 45 easy and the peptide of their choosing. And what I'm going to do is we're going to do a once a week webinar. We're going to have a Facebook social media community where we can share victories and share before and after pictures. And we've got all leaders from all over the world that are going to be helping facilitate that. That way, by March 2nd, by the way, we're launching March 2nd. People are going to be able to order
Yes.
product, etc. March 2nd, boom, we're going. But I want to have as many people as we can working together on the 45 easy challenge, because Edward, the reality is that all of our community are going to be walking, talking billboards. Like give you an example, the brain reboot formula. When I put patients on on dihexa and tesofensin and BPC 157, usually within the first 7 to 10 days, they feel their brain literally changing. Sometimes they could feel a little kind of like foggy thinking for a few days, or sometimes it just feels like, man, my brain's just something's happening. But usually after 10 days, they're sleeping better, their energy is better. Sometimes people say that their vision is brighter, because when the brain works better, everything works better.
Yeah.
And so putting that with the 45 easy, it's, by the way, 45 easy is simple. It's 7 powerful steps to take over 45 simple days. And then those that choose to do the metabolic reset, those folks can use that with the 45 easy. And by the way, regardless of if you use the brain formula or the reset formula, one of the amazing effects of it is when the brain works better, the gut works better, all metabolism works better, muscles get stronger, and we do lose weight. So they both have synergistic effects, but it's not just for one thing. They're going to improve overall health and well-being, and I'm really excited about that. And I know that, Edward, we also have, March 2nd coming up, where everyone will be able to purchase product. Then we're starting a global road tour. We're going to be in Dubai on March the 2nd, March the 8th through, I think, the 19th. We're doing 8 or 9 different stops all along in Japan. We're going to be coming back to North America and doing a couple events in North America. We're going to go to Europe and do events in Europe. And we're just going to keep going, because now that we're at a place where we are extremely comfortable with logistics and shipping, and now we've got the opportunity to have a global community reset. Like Edward, when you said earlier on in this conversation that delays are not always bad things, they are a lot of times protections. And by the way, I think it's important that we all have this conversation that we're all businessmen and women, and we need to put our business hats on. And it was amazing last night on a call we did with the North American team. A couple of the leaders came up and gave their story about why they're so excited. And one of the gentlemen, Richard, came on and said, I want everybody to remember that every time in business you start something new, especially when it's never been done before, you can guarantee at least three things. Number one, you're going to have more challenges than you thought you were going to have. Number two, it's going to take a little bit longer than you think it's going to take. And number three, it's going to cost way more than you think it's going to cost to get this thing going. But if you're willing to wait, and this is the beautiful thing, those that are early adopters, those that are patient in what we're doing, those are the ones that are going to really reap the rewards. Because even 3 years ago, Edward, most people didn't even know what peptides were. And
Yeah.
billions and billions of dollars have been made, and millions of lives have been changed by the peptides that are now on the marketplace from an injection standpoint. Well, we now have the ability to deliver better effective compounded peptides, oral distribution, so you don't have to inject them anymore. We have a roadmap to follow. When I presented the 45 Easy to a group of doctors who are in the American Academy of Anti-Aging that specialize in weight loss through peptides, they said this is the missing piece that we've been looking for. We give the peptides, but we don't have anything for our patients to follow to develop new plans. And so we've got everything needed. And I know, think about this. I know if we have hundreds or 1,000 or 2,000 amazing testimonials with before and after pictures, with conversations of how their lives have been changed over 45 days of using the neuro reboot or the cell reset with the 45 Easy. No one's ever done that as a company.
Derek, can you say how can people get 45 Day Easy? I know how, but I want people to, yeah.
Yeah. So literally right now, you can go to 45easy.com. By the way, if you go to biolimitless.com, everything's there. Edward, on biolimitless.com, we have over 300 different resources already. Over 140 different papers that I've written, over 100 plus podcasts that we've done. There's links to the 45 Easy challenge. Those are all free resources that we put there for the community, so they can go there and get going with that right now. And like I said, I know that there are groups across the globe, and I really want to give a shout out to the Japanese group, because they send me updates all the time of their early morning 45 Easy challenge group, where
Yeah.
there might be 200 or 300 people on a Zoom. And Edward, somebody's leading a class on yoga or breathing or meditation, or it's amazing. Now, if we take these new peptides and add it to that, oh man, I can't wait to see the results that we're going to be getting with people. So they can go right now on biolimitless.com and have access to all of those resources.
Yeah, if person goes on biolimitless.com and even if they watch everything, go through everything, they'll become Dr. Eric.
Well, well,
They,
well. Let
they
me
will
let
know
me
everything.
say let me say this. It's important that you know our mantra is self-care is the real healthcare, because it is. And the more you learn how to take care of yourself, the better your results are going to be. And the only way to learn how to take care of yourself is to get knowledge.
Yeah.
And we now have the ability, our team is going through and they're taking all of the videos that I've done in English. They're getting transcribed and translated into multiple languages. Same thing with all the papers that we're doing, because we want people to have access to knowledge. Because knowledge is powerful, but Edward, it's the wisdom, which is taking that knowledge and applying it to your life. That's where really the magic happens. So, one of the things I wanted to do was make sure that Biolimitless had a tremendous amount of resources for people to have access to globally, and they have that. So, we've got all the resources. Now we've got all the products ready to rock and roll. And now we've got the ability to do a global 45-day reset challenge. And I really hope, because I know last night on the North American call, everybody was so excited. I got so many messages after the call because we're ready. The challenges we have had, we've overcome. We have the right people in place to make this work perfectly. And I want to say that it was the community that helped do that. We had individuals in the community, Edward, that helped us make connections with new manufacturers. We had
Yeah.
people in the community that helped us get the distribution set up. So what I'm saying is what we spoke out into existence at the beginning was a system that was by the people, of the people, and for the people. That's exactly what Biolimitless is. It's us as the Biolimitless community that is making this perfect. So I want everyone who's listening now, everyone to understand that you're a part of this movement. It's not about me, it's not about Edward, it's not about the leaders now. It's about all of us collectively together, working together to inspire, to motivate, and to be an example to the world of what's possible. Edward, I was having a conversation recently with a large group of healthcare practitioners and scientists here in the US with the Make America Healthy Again campaign. And, one of the big conversation pieces that came out was how do we get Americans healthy again? And the same solution is globally. We have to get the metabolism turned back on. We have to
Mm.
get their body to detoxify again. We have to get the weight off the body and the brain to work. And the very first thing that Bobby Kennedy Jr., RFK Jr. said, the head of Health and Human Services in America, said, we have to give people access to peptides. We have to give people access to therapies that work. We have to give people access to diagnostic plans, and we have to get the junk out of our food supply. Edward, we are ahead of that trend. And you know as
Yeah.
well as I do that when you're a trendsetter, when you're the first one to run down the field with the flag of here we go, you're the first one to get praised, but you're also the first one to get, shot at, yelled at, told that you're
Yeah.
doing it wrong. And now we've broken through all of those challenges so that we can globally change the way that healthcare is delivered and received. And that's what gives me goosebumps because I know what's possible. And the results we're going to have are going to ripple through generations. So
That's
it's good.
amazing. Listen, 45 day easy. It's actually a guideline. It's a simple guideline how to start, basically what to start. Because the biggest problem is when it's complicated, when you get overwhelmed. Like even a simple, yesterday I was talking to someone and they asked me which vitamins they should take, like
Mm.
which is the most cleanest and everything, right? And as soon as I start talking, very simple, I saw them overwhelmed because they've been taking some kind of multivitamins, which is synthetic and like, so this is garbage. It's only harms your body. It doesn't do any good, right? And it's just, but 45-day easy, it's a guideline. It's a simple guideline for people to follow. That's where they start. Because if they go on biolimitless.com and they see 300 plus different videos, they they give up just right there. It's possible. Like
Yeah,
most,
yeah,
unless you really, really like committed, okay, I'm going through it, right? But where do people start? What would you recommend? Start with 45-day easy?
yeah, for sure. I mean, the first of all, Edward,
Can
you're
make
so
that.
right. Yeah.
This is really big because look, we are January. This is the last month we are selling. and then we're gonna close the doors through the whole February. We're gonna migrate from blockchain to a server to traditional, right? And March 2nd, we're gonna open, and you can go and it's gonna be amazing. I can't wait. And when you can buy everything you wanted, right? But now people actually like if you want a head start, this is your opportunity to pre-build your team, pre-build because those are people who purchase. They the only ones are going to be migrated to a new system, to this genealogy. It's going to be moved, right? So the very first thing what I would start with DNA test and master microbiotics, and this is what available right now. This would be 100% push as hard as I could. This is what I do right now, and I'm getting my best close friends into, and I hate just have to teach them blockchain thing, waste so much time. But if you really want to help someone, if you really want a head start, this is the head start. March 2nd, it's gonna be smooth.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Edward, I agree 100%. And I know what a lot of the leaders are doing now because there is so much information. And if you start with the DNA test, and that helps you discover more about you. And the more you learn about you, the better you can take care of yourself. And by the way, the report that you get back on that DNA is so vast that it takes time for you to go through it and
Yeah.
understand it and reread it and learn more and go back and use it as a study guide. Like if you get a user's manual for a car that you bought, you don't just read the user's manual one time and you understand it. You have to
No.
go back every once in a while. If the check engine light goes off in the car, you got to read, what does that mean? And so having that DNA test done, powerful. Every single man, woman, and child on the planet needs the master microbiotics. Why? Because 95% of the global community has a problem with their gut microbiome. And if the gut is off, everything else is going to be a problem. If you'll do those and go right now to biolimitless.com and you have a free resource, 45 Easy, where you can actually start implementing 7 powerful steps, simple steps over 45 simple days. This is the guideline for how you should live your life. And you mix that with your DNA, that's how you should eat, sleep, live. These are the habits that make healthy, successful people, and it's a
And how
free
much is it?
resource. It's
45 days?
free. It's
Yeah.
free. It's
There you
free.
go.
I
It's
mean,
free.
it's it is. And Edward, I'll tell you that I created the 45 Easy Challenge years ago, and a couple years ago when another U.S. trend came out called 75 Hard, and 75 Hard was 75 days of doing a lot of hard, difficult things, and I understand why because discipline is doing things that you don't want to do when you need to do it so you can have the result that you want.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, most people aren't ready to start, aggressively working into things that are going to cause them to be difficult. And think about the word hard. If I that's a mental block right there. So I know the guy that created the 75 hard. And I said, hey, his name's Andy. He's a friend of mine. I said, I've got a program that I created called 45 Easy. I get better results and I can get more people to do it because it's easy to do these
Yeah.
things. And then once you do that, then you've proven to yourself that you can do things. And when you stay disciplined, Edward, and you know this better than anybody, if you stay disciplined to doing something for 45 days or more, you've developed new habits, new patterns, and you've proven to yourself that you can be disciplined enough to do something. Well, now you've just told 2 trillion plus cells in your body that you can be disciplined to anything from relationships to business to anything that you consider success. Health is actually easy to obtain. You just have to do the right things consistently for the right amount of time to get that result. And that's what this is. This is 22 years of my life work of how to help people so easy, Edward.
This is amazing because it takes actually 45 days to create a new habit or break a habit. Most of it,
Yes.
most of it,
Yes.
45 days. there's very few can go into 90 days, but you can restart 45-day and it's going to be
Yeah.
90 days, right?
Yeah.
So this is amazing. About DNA test, as
Yeah.
we're talking about, because this is where I think people, every single person, it's a must. It's a map of your body. You need it's a roadmap, right? And because we have different languages right now,
Mhm.
we international, right? I know Hungarian leaders been asking for to be translated in Hungarian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Currently, we have it in what languages? English, Japanese. What else do we have?
English, Japanese, German, and Spanish. We are in the process of having. I mean, there's seven other
Hungarian. We need
languages.
Hungarian. It was a big request from a big leaders. So
Yeah, it's in the process of being translated now. What else I'm going to ask too is, and I asked this of the Japanese and the German and etc. From the leaders. Once we have that translated into that language, I want some of our leaders to help me go through it and make sure that it translates perfect. Because you know as well as I do that that's a difficult thing. We're translating our books into different languages, becoming
yeah.
biolimitless as well, and I just want to make sure that because communication is the most important aspect of everything that we do. So, again, it's a community effort to make that as perfect as possible. So, yes.
Okay, that's great. That's
Yeah.
great. So let's start with DNA test.
Yeah.
Let's pre-build strong, and then March 2nd in Dubai, we officially open the doors on back office for people to purchase if they choose right now. What's the names? The
The
names.
the
Red
reboot, it's
formula,
the
or yeah,
neuro reboot or the cell
yeah.
reset. Yeah.
And March 2nd, they'll be able to buy a second one. I mean, this is a very tough one to choose. I mean, like, yeah, now
I
you,
do know, and I had a lot of people that have asked me, what should I do? And again, it's kind of like me saying, which one of my children are my favorite, right? They're all beneficial. But here's what I'll tell everybody is what's beautiful about what we are bringing to the global community with the DNA kit, which tells you how to live your life, with the master microbiotics, which helps solve one of the biggest problems, which is gut health. And by the way, our new updated master microbiotic formula, we put BPC 157 in that. So that's nobody has that on the market. We
yeah,
have that's never been done before. And we're doing so many things that have never been done before, which is fun and exciting. But again, it comes with its challenges. So that fixes the gut, which 95% of the global population has an issue with. Well, every single person over the age of 30 has enough stress where their metabolism is turned down. The reset formula helps turn that back up. And then again, stress, physical, chemical, and emotional, turns the brain wiring and firing down. And the neuro reboot helps reboot that. You mix that with our new cell signal formula. By the way, our new cell signals formula is a dipeptide formula that men, women, children, mothers who are expectant, they can all take that. I wanted to change that formula so everybody could have access to it. And so what's amazing is what other vitamins, minerals, and nutrients you're taking, or what other clean foods you're eating, what our formulas do is it complements that, Edward. Because remember, I always give this analogy that when you eat food or you take supplements, that's raw material to help your body. It's like building a house. The vitamins are like the wood, the screws, the glue, everything you need to build it. Well, the workers that take those materials and actually turn them into usable products, those go away when we turn over the age of 30, or at least they turn down. Well,
mhm,
the peptides are part of those workers that will now go to the cell and turn that back on so that we can build our houses again. But those worker bees read, right? They read the DNA, and the DNA is the blueprint. So if I'm a construction worker, I have to read the blueprint of how to take these materials and build my house. So
exactly.
if you have the DNA, that's your blueprint. If you have the peptides, that's your workers. And if you're eating foods like we discussed or other supplements that you
Material.
enjoy, it's going to make them work better. Edward, this is the best system on the market. And I know that because no one else has ever done anything like this. And I've been working for 20 years to bring this to the table, and we're finally here, man.
So DNA test is a blueprint.
Yes.
Uh, the peptides are workers,
Yes.
and the vitamins or nutrition that you eat is material. It's a product.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
take vitamins, but you don't have, or you eat food, but you don't have the workers, they're just sitting there and not doing anything.
You got it.
And then if you don't have a blueprint, you don't know what you need. You don't know what
Yes.
you're building, right? We have
So
it.
Edward, think about that for a minute. What if of those three things that are vitally important, and that makes complete sense the way that I explained it to you. You just explained it perfectly.
I think
Most
every construction guy right now is getting excited because they understand that. Oh, okay.
yes, yes. But Edward, many people have looked at eating new foods, taking vitamins. They're doing that. But why are the vitamins not working? Or why is the food they're eating not getting the effect that they desire? It's because they don't have the workers, they don't have the peptides, their body's not using the metabolism, and then they don't live their life based off of their genetic blueprint. We're bringing two solutions to the problems of the three that are out there. Most people can take vitamins and most people can eat food, but they don't have access to the other two. That
Yeah.
is so exciting when you really understand that, how
And
powerful that
and
is.
and DNA test is so important because for one person you might need one thing and you hear all your life this is the healthiest, this is the best. I mean, I've been eating some of the stuff because I thought it's healthy and it is healthy for somebody, only to find out that this is not good for me.
Yeah.
This is actually, I mean, if I take a little bit, no big deal, but if I start taking it more, which is what I did, I'm
Yeah.
actually hurting my body. And there's so many, or sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
remember I
Yeah.
thought I can run and I'm good for 4 hours sleep. I think like 4 hours enough for me, and I was so
Mm-hmm.
proud of it. Only to find out I need 8 hours of sleep, and I go like, oh,
Well,
hey,
Edward, I promise everybody listening right now, I promise you this. If you'll pay attention, mark my words, we said this right now. I said this in 2020. I said this in 2020, but we said this globally to this group in 2024 that the future of medicine, the future of conventional medicine, every man, woman, and child, eventually, it might be 10 years from now or 20 years from now, but everyone will have a a DNA test on file so that they know how to live their life, because blood tests are important, but not as important as DNA. You know, scans of the body are important, but not as important as DNA, because the DNA, Edward, is the blueprint. That's the
mm,
blueprint of you. And if think about this for a moment, think about if every man, woman, and child had access to this, and if there was a child that had a genetic imbalance, that maybe they couldn't have a certain formula or shouldn't eat a certain vitamin, and if the parents knew that at infancy, then they can start changing the way that they feed that child, live, and think about all the problems that could be eliminated because of that lifestyle. And still to this day, there are so many people that have chronic inflammation, chronic illness, autoimmune issues, women that have miscarriages, skin problems, hormonal issues, back pain, knee pain, Achilles issues, that we can find out the action steps that you should be taking based off of your genetics. There's nothing like that on the market. And I want to
exactly.
remind everyone that our DNA test has a 99.7% accuracy. Look, there are some of you, I think there's been about, 5 or 6 people in the global community that when their sample came through, the sample was rejected because we run each sample twice. And if we don't get a 99.7% accuracy with that, we send you another tube to spit in to retest it, because that's how thorough we are. If you ran these tests in a doctor's office, Edward, in the United States of America, it
Yeah.
would be 2,500 USD all day long. And you
Hmm.
would never get the amount of information and action steps to take as we give with Biolimitless.
Yeah,
So it
and with
is
us,
powerful.
nine 930.
Yes.
But that's not it. You get the test results there. They give you, and then you don't know how to read. You still don't have guidelines.
Yeah,
And we have a
yeah,
system. We have a guidelines. We have an app where you can go, and we have you, Dr. Eric, who has so many explanation, short videos, how to read your DNA test. This is amazing. And we're going in on every different language that
yep.
community.
It really is exciting, and we are truly changing the way that healthcare is delivered and received. But I want everyone to understand that I know that you're excited about where we're at and where we're going, and you want it to happen yesterday. I think all of
Yeah.
us do, but we have to do it right, and we have to do it in the right timing. And again, Edward, I was so excited and also blown away by the results of that survey we did that 52% of our global community wanted the brain formula. So I said, okay, this makes sense with what the trend is that's happening with mental health issues in the US and those issues, because I know I speak to the European leaders. They tell me that mental health is a big problem there. The Japanese leaders are telling me the same thing.
Yeah.
People's motivation is low, their energy is low. They don't have joy and peace in life like they used to. Well, I'm telling you, this is part of the solution. When you feel in control of your health, which Edward, I know that you believe this as well. Your health is one of your most important assets. You can
100.
make more money. You can schedule your time so that you can have more time with certain things. But a lot of times when your health is gone, you don't have the energy, the resources to do the things you need to do. So I'll tell you, and you know this as well as I do, that most of the high net worth and high successful individuals of the world focus on their physical body for peak performance and focus on their brain health for peak performance. And we are giving a affordable, effective, and a simple solution to the global community on how they can achieve that. I mean, Edward, what we're doing in with Biolimitless, even with the DNA kits and the peptides, normally if you go to a functional medicine practitioner like myself to get those tests done, to have a doctor manage you, that might be $8,000 to $10,000 a year to do that kind of work with someone like me. Well, we've decided, how do we take all this info, these systems and processes, and give them globally to the people of the world so that they can understand how to take care of themselves for hundreds of dollars, not tens of thousands of dollars. And that, my friend, is one of the things that I'm also the most excited about, because we get to help not just the classes, but the masses and the generational curses of sickness and disease that we're going to be able to help break with knowledge and the right solutions. To me, that's the legacy that I'm excited the most about Biolimitless leaving.
That's amazing. Such a great information, Dr. Eric. When the first time we decide with the brain
Mhm.
um, or weight loss, but it's not really weight loss.
Yeah,
For me, I go like, oh, brain 100%. And I go like,
yeah,
Japan is going to go all brain, you know?
yeah, yeah.
But when I hear you speaking and breaking into details, which peptides and which one does and what does, they equally, you
Mhm.
need them both equally. Like now I cannot choose. Now I need both. I wish there was an option for people to have it both, but
Well, eventually
for me,
everybody will
that's
be
just
able to
price
have
tag.
access to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think I just
Anyway,
want to, Edward, I just want to make sure everybody understands that March the 2nd, we are globally launching. People will be able to buy product. They'll be able to utilize everything.
yes.
We believe that by the end of January, even maybe before that, we'll be able to have those free bottles that we're going to be sending out to everyone. And I believe they can go to their back office and request those bottles. And then we'll start the 45 Easy Challenge together as a global community. We'll make big announcements about that. So pay attention to Telegram and Facebook and all of our communication channels. And then let's just go all in. Let's just, it's the perfect time for this. It's the beginning of a new year, out with the old, in with the new. It's time for a new change, a new solution, and 45 Easy with your choosing of one of the two new peptides is going to be the best way to start 2025. And Edward, what's going to happen this year? Oh man, brother, the changes that we're going to be able to see in people's lives, not just health wise, but financially. I'm really excited to be a part of that.
Oh
So
yeah,
thank you.
and that is automatically financially it's automation with this
Mhm.
health. You fix this,
Yeah.
and financially you're skyrocket. Well,
Amen.
that's amazing. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Dr. Eric. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. And I'm excited. March 2nd,
Yeah.
everyone's going to be able to get any of those products. And of course, we will have something special for the maybe 3 day special for everyone who arrives to Dubai. And we'll announce that later. But we're at top of the hour.
Yeah.
And thank you, everyone. Happy New Year's. We were supposed to start with saying Happy New Year's, but we're
Yeah.
closing the call with Happy New Year's. Uh,
Okay.
and I'll see everyone soon.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Bye bye.